Good evening and welcome to Daily Politics and Trust TV, your go-to platform for everything politics, policy and governance. I am Shehu Musa Gabam. Tonight, we'll delve into the startling revelation by former Head of State General Ibrahim Babangida that led Mashood Abiola has actually won the June 12, 1993 presidential election under the platform of the SDP, which is regime annul, citing overriding national interest. 32 years after, the former head of state admits at a public presentation of his autobiography titled A Journey in Service that though the decision to annul the outcome was largely influenced by anti-June 12 forces, he regrets the action while taking responsibility for the decision, affirming that he has no doubt that led Abiola actually won the election. Now, adjudged to be Nigeria's freest and fairest election, annulment of the June 12 poll generated violent reactions, especially from the southern part of the country. However, President Muhammadu Buhari provided some relief by honoring the winner of the election, late Abiola, with the highest honor of GCFR and renamed June 12 as Nigeria's Democracy Day against the usual May 29. Now, to help us analyze the issue, we have in the studio a retired naval officer and a public affairs analyst, Nurdin Hamanyaro. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And via Zoom, we'll be joined by the national chairman of the Social Democratic Party, SDP, and also a political ally of the former head of state, Shehu Musa Gabam. But before we commence the conversation proper, here are some developments in the polity. Tension erupted in Senate on Thursday after Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan clashed with the leadership over a sitting arrangement dispute. The issue began when Akpoti-Uduaghan's seat was reassigned following a reshuffle prompted by opposition members moving to the majority wing. However, she refused to relocate. Chief Whip, Senator Tahir Monguno, cited Senate rules to justify the change, explaining that the seat adjustments were within the Senate President's authority. Let's hear her. Senator Natasha Akpoti out there. And All Progressives Congress APC in Osun State has withdrawn from the local government election scheduled for Saturday, February 2022. This is contained in a letter dated February 17, signed by the APC State Publicity Secretary Alao Kamaruddin, addressed to the Secretary of the State Independent Electoral Commission, OSEAC. A copy of the letter obtained by the news agency of Nigeria, NAN, on Thursday in Oshobo stated that APC would not participate based on the February 10 Court of Appeal judgment, which reinstated its chairman and councillors. And now, to set the stage for our conversation, let's take a look at our report put together from the event that is the public presentation of a book titled A Journey in Service, authored by former head of state President Ibrahim Babangida. Let's take a look. Known for his charismatic and pragmatic leadership, General Babangida has played a key role in shaping Nigeria's history. However, the June 12 presidential election annulment debacle has remained a tainted past in the annals of Nigeria's history. Through his autobiography, which was reviewed at the event by former Vice President Yemi Oshibanjo, General Babangida decided to put the record straight.
That accident of history is most regrettable. The nation is entitled to expect my impression of regret. As the leader of the military administration, I accept full responsibility for all decisions taken under my watch.
His colleagues in service and former Nigerian leaders, Generals Yakubu Gowon, Olusegun Obasanjo and Abdulsalami Abubakar shared their perspectives on the military general.
I interested you in the army. You joined the army and you served very, very well. You served very, very well. And it got to the stage whereby at the end of the war, my youngest brother, late Isaiah, came and told me about this, his commander. Very good leader, very good commander, very courageous, brave, and that he was really an exceptional.
My dear young brother, what next? You have written a book. It is Babangida's story. The book will be reviewed, read, quoted, praised, and lambasted, as some will agree with you in part, and some will disagree with you in part. Some may even wholly disagree with you.
I want to thank you for honoring my brother, my friend, my head boy, my commander-in-chief, all rolled in one.
In their separate exclusive interviews with Trust TV on the sidelines of the event, presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 election, Peter Obi, and former governor of Kebbi State, Senator Adamu Aleru, described former head of state General Babangida as a leader par excellence.
Babangida remains a president or head of state that contributed immensely to the economic progress of Nigeria. I happened to be on the other side while he was head of state. And I can tell you, it is during his tenure that Nigerian economic progress will unleashed.
A very charismatic leader. Perhaps one of the most charismatic leaders this country has ever witnessed. He had done so much for this country, and what happened today,
And joining us to dissect these issues, as I said earlier, is the national chairman of the Social Democratic Party, SDP, Shehu Musa Gabam, as well an ally of the former head of state. Thank you for joining us. Okay, I think you need to unmute the mic.
Hearing me?
Can you hear us now?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Very good. It's good to have you on the platform tonight.
My great pleasure. Thank you very much.
Right. Let me start by asking you this question. I understand you may perhaps miss today's event, but you are very much in tune with some of the revelations. In particular, the one admitting that the June 12 election was actually won by late MK Abiola, and coincidentally it happens to be your party, the SDP, that was the beneficiary of that election. What do you make up with this reaction coming 32 years after?
Well, let me say this. This defines the personality of the former president, General Ibrahim Babangida. Very, very courageous person, very humble, down to earth, and a man who believes in the future, and a man who takes responsibility. Leadership is about taking responsibility. This is not the first time he takes responsibility all that happened around June 12. He has said it severally. He did not join issues with his juniors nor his seniors. To me, that's what defines leadership, and this is what we emulated from him. What happened today is simply a demonstration of capacity, a demonstration of leadership, a demonstration of courage and audacity in terms of declassifying a lot of issues that led to a lot of misinterpretations. In whatever way or manner, people want to look at it, there is no way you can come up with any narrative that everybody will agree with it. Some for mischief, some for political reasons. But to me, he have documented what happened in the past. Some of us are aware of it. And I could remember not too long ago, we had a conversation with him regarding some of the legacy he left behind. And I was struck by what he said. He said, Shehu, I'm very proud of you. You are keeping alive one of my responsibility, one of my legacy, that is SDP. I'm very, very proud of it. So for some of us that are very close to him, see him as a father, as a role model, as a leader of unquantifiable quality that have done so much for Nigeria. If you go to Nigerian archives, I can challenge anyone based on record available. There is no president that have worked for Nigeria, contributed to Nigeria development like President Babangida. There is none, a record in our archives, whatever anybody wants to say. And a simple example I can give you is the first dualization of roads in northern Nigeria, from Abuja to Kaduna to Zaria to Kano, backwards. And all those things were done in about 20 months. Today we are trying to rehabilitate the same road. It's taken us almost 9 to 10 years to rehabilitate the same road. Look at the Third Mainland Bridge. He was the first president to open our economy during commercialization and privatization by Hamza Zayat. I'm sure a lot of Nigerians will not remember this because largely people are suffering from memory issues. So for me, I'm extremely proud of him. I'm so happy that he has declassified a lot of issues. And there is love for those who want to believe it absolutely or who want to disagree with certain things. We are human beings. And naturally, some of us that are in politics, we know that the human beings have characteristics of amoeba, which is difficult for you to define their quality or their behavior in terms of who they are. But we are very, very proud of him. And may God Almighty continue to keep him healthy. And I want the summary of the former Vice President, Yemi Oshibanjo, where he said that he's one of the most charismatic presidents Nigeria have ever produced. Right from the time he left office, Mina remained like a maker of everyone, irrespective of political affiliation. People goes to him for either felicitation or consultations and so on. And he received everyone with open heart and so on and so forth. So IBB is an icon and he came with his own era. And I believe he will go with his own era.
Okay, talking about, taking responsibility, even though that's exactly what he has said, but to some, he hasn't said anything new. Many acknowledge the fact that let MKO Abiola actually won the election. Remember a couple of years ago, former President Muhammadu Buhari even went ahead to confer in him, posthumous, the GCFR, and also renamed the May 29 to June 12 as the Democracy Day. And then looking at also the fact that he did mention at that event that the decision was largely driven by what he called the anti-June 12 forces, most of whom, quite a number of them are late now. What do you think this will change in terms of the course of history, in spite of the fact that, yes, open up, but Nigerians are the ultimate victims of that decision? What do you think it will change?
Well, I don't know what you mean by victims. You see, I was in Lagos during the June 12th. I witnessed the turbulence of the June 12th in Lagos State. It's different from somebody who was either in Kano or Kaduna or somewhere else. I was at the center of the heat during June 12th. And I know the turbulence, and I know the number of unrest, and some people who lost their life in the course of that. And I know many Nigerians who were trying to leave Lagos to move to their own states because there were a possibility of violence that would envelop the country. And of course, the wisdom came in by him to step aside. And as you mentioned, the military provisional ruling council, have the ultimate decision, even though he's the president. But it's a composition of chiefs who also have added a lot of their own input to that singular decision. And of course, it makes a lot of difference because he said it publicly, unlike before where there are a lot of speculations whether it has happened or not. But this is the man speaking for himself, what transpired. And not only that, he called names to appreciate those names at that particular time, the critical role they have played in shaping the country. And I can tell you that election is still unique in the history of Nigeria. That election was conducted and adjudged to be free and fair election in the history of Nigeria up to today. We've been in a democratic governance, let me say from 1999 to date. We have never conducted an election close to that June 12 election that was adjudged to be free and fair internationally. So whatever happens, you have laid that foundation. You have demonstrated how the institution of democracy can function, especially with the pilot program of the two-party system, the SDP and the NRC. So the NRC run by Tofa, the SDP by Abiola, which we all agreed at that particular time, Abiola won that election. But due to the peculiarities and exigencies of the military administration at that period, and due to the high-ranking military power and interest, one would not be surprised about what happened. And I believe it is not just the military generals that were part of annulling the election. There are many civilians who are involved, traditional rulers who are involved in that decision as well. But all I'm saying is that today we are doing much, much better. At least we've been on the democratic journey for quite a very long time without military intervention. And of course, the military also agreed that they should allow a democracy to prevail and allow the civilians, politicians to see how they can run the country. But I can tell you in summary that the military administration have done so much for the country, have executed national projects, patriotic projects, that we are yet to execute 5% of it under democratic dispensation. So which means that we had leaders in uniform that are more patriotic, that are more committed to the development of Nigeria than politicians that got themselves into office and undermined democracy, and all they compete for, who will get richer than one another. That is the tragedy of where we are today, which has not happened under a military regime. The military regime have done so much to defend Nigerian interest compared to what we are going today, that we are witnessing unprecedented crisis, anarchy, a very bad economy, and so on and so forth. So what we are enjoying in terms of leveraging on the economy, the foundation started during the President Babangida under privatization and commercialization, headed by Hamza Zayyad.
Okay, as we round up, because we need to allow you to take on other engagements. You talked about him being a rallying point. The caliber of people that attended this event clearly speaks to this. People across political party lines, across regional divides, and so on. You also talked about his relevance in our influence in our polity today. What do you think this event will do, coming at this time, in terms of shaping the trajectory, the political trajectory of the country?
It simply means that there is no enmity in power. It only takes an ignorant to personalize issues. President Babangida have demonstrated that he doesn't hold any issue so personal. He believes in the national interest. And look at the array of personalities across the length and breadth of Nigeria. There was no breathing space, both inside and outside. That defined who he is as a human being. I believe other leaders will try to emulate his own quality of leadership, his quality of respecting the dignity of human beings, his own decency, his own humility, would have gone a long way, but you cannot pick someone and give such credit close to who IBB is today in history, in Nigerian history. So for me, I believe he has sent a clear message to those who believe that nothing will happen without them. He sent that message to brilliant people to capture in their mindset that everything is possible. Anything is possible. There is no monopoly of knowledge and wisdom. Society is about collection of mindsets who believe in moving the country forward. Nobody should apply principle of monopoly as if nobody could do anything without them. This is what President Babangida have exemplified by bringing everyone around, despite what happened in the past. You know, it's a mark of honor for him, for his family, and for the country that we can rally around, even though we differed on a lot of things. And I think the current leadership of the country should pick example from President Babangida, and I'm sure the president also is one of the beneficiaries of President Babangida's legacy during the SDP because he was elected senator under the SDP. So I believe there are a lot of things that the leadership should learn from the qualities of former President Babangida. If really they want to move democracy forward, they want to keep this country very stable, they want to bring, everyone on same page to build a new world order that Nigeria can have confidence in, so that we will not witness voters' apathy as we are witnessing today. When we have over 100 million registered voters, we end up with the votes of late MKO Abiola that pursued the president of Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Shehu Musa Gabam, National Chairman of the Social Democratic Party, the SDP. Thank you very much for your inputs on the platform today.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate it.
Thank you.